Dog Game Reviews. This is the Raw Dog speaking, and this time I'm giving you my raw review of Silent Hill F. So, let's do it raw, baby! Okay, so, I love this game. If you saw my raw impression, this game was amazing. I have to say this is probably one of the best Silent Hills I've played. Maybe not by far, because I mean the originals are still pretty awesome, but like in a long time. This is one of the best Silent Hills I've played in a long time. One of the best horror games I've played in a long time. Until it reaches a certain point. There is a certain point where it kind of starts to let you down. But we'll get to that. But the game mostly is really good, and its attention to detail is also really good. Like the game just honestly is just by far one of the better horror games I've played in a long time. And it has a lot of psychological horror. It has a lot of really interesting things that are going on in it. It's just a really good horror game. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's just breathtakingly awesome. I was on the edge of my seat through a lot of the first playthrough. The only playthrough. I'm not going to bother going through that playthrough. But yeah, I was on the edge of my seat through a lot of that playthrough. There were a lot of moments where I was, creeped out. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Now, the unfortunate thing, I gotta say this, is that this videos are going to be pretty spoiler. At least definitely the more secondary ones, the more like later videos I'm showing off are going to be pretty spoiler heavy. Because, I don't know, I don't feel like showing everyone, me just walking around a room trying to figure out a puzzle, or me just kind of walking around collecting items. It's not that interesting. So I have to show you like boss battles and combat and late game things. Because a lot of things you do in horror game is kind of just walking around. So I want to make it interesting for you guys, so it's got to be combat and stuff, so it's a little spoilery. Be careful about that. And yeah, so let's go right in. The game just looks beautiful. The graphics, actually I shouldn't say that. The game looks terrible. I don't like how the game looks. That's one problem with the game is that I don't like the graphics. That has not changed. I got to deal with it a lot better. After my first few hours with it, the graphics kind of set in a little bit, so the game still looks good. The environment looks amazing. The environment of the world looks amazing. The monsters look creepy as all can be. The mannequins, all these things, like they look creepy, so that's all good. But like the people just look bad, man. The main character Hinako, like I'm probably saying her name wrong, but yeah, I'm not Japanese. So anyway, she doesn't look terrible. I mean, thank God, because she's the main character. I'm looking at her a lot, but she doesn't look bad. Like she doesn't look grotesquely stupid for like graphics. But like her friends just look grotesque with the way their eyes are shaped and like the way their faces are doing things. For all the graphics we have these days, it looks grotesque. Like I don't understand what's going on in this game. But that's a small point. The rest of the game is really good, and honestly, I got over that pretty quickly because, like I said, I got used to the graphics and I got over it really quickly. So it's not a big point of the game. It didn't detract much from my enjoyment of the game, but it is something I should note that the graphics do look quite dated awkwardly, and they're just not great. But anyway, the one thing I also have to say I didn't like was like the cutscenes. I at first really liked them, how they were really well integrated, how they even put like the DLC costumes into the cutscenes really nicely. It didn't pop you back into a different costume, even though I was using a DLC costume. So like I was using as you can see, I'm using like the white sailor uniform. But I mean, like the game never pulled me into the blue sailor uniform because that's how it's supposed to be in the cutscenes. No, but there is one thing though. Every time you're in a cutscene, they give you the iron pipe. Because that is Hinako's like signature weapon, I guess, or it is like the base weapon of the game. So no matter what weapon you have or what weapon you're using, every cutscene brings you into the iron pipe. Well, every cutscene in the real world. The Shrine world, that's a whole different story, and we'll get to that. But I mean, like every cutscene in the real world has you with the iron pipe, and that does kind of detract because there was a lot of times I was not using an iron pipe, and it was kind of like meh, whatever. But yeah, again, that's a very small thing. But I have to say the game got it really well and got it really good with the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is creepy. Like, the sounds in the game are beautiful, and the whole fact that like I was really creeped out with the mannequins. There were a whole lot of sections in the game where like the mannequins are just there. They just suddenly appear out of nowhere, and like they're just staring at you creepily, and then you're not really sure if that mannequin is a real mannequin or if that mannequin's going to attack you or not. Like, actually, they all very well could attack you, but the game is actually going to have that one attack you. So it became a lot of times where I was like really avoiding the mannequins and really just trying to like walk the other direction or give them a wide berth of space and just like, I really liked how creepy that is, because there was one section in particular where there's the mannequin puzzle. The mannequin puzzle was awesome because, you know, I was looking around, and then while I was looking around, another mannequin comes into the puzzle area and is trying to fight you, but they only move while you're not looking at the screen. So all of a sudden I hear moving on my headset, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I'm looking around like, is something moving? But nothing's moving. And I'm just like, one of them is moving, but they're only moving when I'm not looking at them. That's awesome. like obviously it's not. This isn't the first game. This isn't the first thing to have that idea. But I mean, like, it was still really cool and a really nice touch that it was in the game. It was a really nice touch. It really brought that whole never feel safe down to home. Like, one of the things I've always said about Silent Hill, one of the things that I love about Silent Hill, is that the games don't let you feel safe. Even when you should feel safe, you don't feel safe. This game definitely does that, especially because there's no like safe room. Usually the shrines that, you know, let you save the game are outside, and like outside is where all the monsters are. So like 90% of the time, even when you're at a save point, you don't feel safe because like the monster could be right around the corner. And honestly, there were a few times where the monsters were right around the corner from save points, so like I did not feel safe. But I will have to say this, that it is kind of a lie, because if you stand next to a save point, the monsters will usually start to walk away from you, and like the game will kind of take it easy on you, and they will kind of, you know, disperse. They won't really chase you to a save point. They will kind of, but like once the game realizes, oh, we're in a safer area, it will kind of start to like move away from you, and you'll be able to save. So like it looks scary and it has that feel to it, so it does a really good job of it. But they are kind of like safe areas. So, but I mean, like, it's a game. What are you gonna do? They want you to be safe. They want you to save the game. They want you to have fun with the game. So I mean, like, I get that, but it does a really good job of disguising it, which is nice, and that's what I'm looking for. Like, when I have the horror games, you know, I want it to be a really good job of disguising it. I want to be able to feel like I'm in danger all the time. I want to feel like, you know, nothing is safe. That's what this game does. The game makes you feel like nothing is safe. And now here we go with this giant spoilers. Until you become a giant fox monster. Yes, at like 2/3 of the game finished, when you're in the shrine, you get a giant fox arm and the ability to purify the monsters, and the game becomes a heavy action combat horror, where like now it feels like Resident Evil 5, where the game is telling you, hey, go kill every monster, and the game no longer feels like it should be scary. It feels like the game wants you to combat everything, which is fun, but it's not as scary anymore. But then again, thankfully, when you go back to the real world, you don't have that, and the game still feels pretty scary. But even then, not entirely, because by that point in the game, I had built up so many resources that I didn't need to worry about anything. I had 15 bandages. 15 bandages, pretty much almost at all times, because like I just had that many. I didn't take that much damage. I just kept picking up bandages. I kept throwing away first aid kits because bandages were so much more useful, and I could hold 3 of them. Like, it was ridiculous. And the weapons, the weapon deterioration was scary at first, but then like at the end of the game, or you know, once I got to that like fox arm point, even in the real world, I no longer really need to worry about weapon deterioration. I kept finding more and more weapons a lot easier, and I was just like, oh, I don't need to worry about it. Here's another axe. Here's another sledgehammer. Here's a knife. Here's a baseball bat, and it's just like, oh, all these weapons are right here for me. But anyway, so the game really all of a sudden felt like it was becoming a lot more combat heavy. I know that's because like the game was nearing the end of the game, and they want you to fight more things, and that's the whole point of it. Actually, is like Hanako's trauma is coming to a point, and she's now angry and she wants to fight the things. She's not trying to run anymore, so like the game is actually trying to feed into that. So I get that. It's a very psychological factor. It's actually kind of cool like that, but still, it kind of takes away from the whole point of the game being scary. When you get to that point, you're just like beat the crap out of things. And also the Omaris, the charms that you get make you beefed up. Like, I had a charm that was every time I killed something, I got health back. So I was actively trying to kill things, get my health back all the time. Like, I never ran out of health. I don't think I even died in the game once. The game was honestly pretty easy, actually, when I think back on it. Like, I was kind of worried about it because I wasn't really focusing on doing the counters all that much. But again, I wasn't in, like, hard mode. I was in story mode for the gameplay. But, like, honestly, though, I don't feel like I should have had to be, though, because I don't feel like the game should have to force you to play hard mode, especially on your first time through. Anyway, though, the game was good, though. I don't want to take the track from that, and I don't want to make this into a super long video. So, like, the game was good. And, one of the things I really want to say about it, though, is that, like I said, the game had really good sounds, really good creepy qualities in the sounds, and one of the things I noticed, I think it's one of the videos, I hope, or was in the video for the first impression, was like while you're walking around with the weaponry does take into account the environment. So does the character. That's really nice. It's really some really nice touches. Like when Hinako had the spear or the naginata, you know, she walked over to like the wall area, and I actually saw her like pick up the spear and like hold it more vertically so that it wasn't touching against the wall. Now, obviously, the game can only do so much. If I really put her against the wall, the spear is going to clip into the wall. Like, there's only so much the game could do. But the fact that it even tried to was a really nice touch. Like, in my opinion, the fact that even just trying to do that when you don't have to is a nice touch. So, all in all, the game was really good. I highly recommend it if you're a horror fan. Highly recommend it if you're a Silent Hill fan. The game was really good. The unfortunate part about the game is that it has a ridiculous amount of endings, and you have to play through the game a few more times to get real endings, to do things like the ending you get is a very unfulfilling ending, and that's unfortunate. And it is kind of annoying, but I don't have the time to go for more endings, so meh. The game itself was fun. The gameplay was great. The game is a good game, so I mean, I can't really bash it for those things. And I mean, the game says, hey, interact with me more, play me more. I mean, isn't that what every game wants you to do? Replay value and all those things. I mean, like, so I can't really bash it for wanting to have replay value and wanting me to do more. So, yeah. All in all, I have to say, the game was good. The game was very good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Even when I was a crazy fox monster, I still enjoyed it because, you know, being a fox monster was cool. And the game was just good. Yeah, it was just good. Just a good game. But, yeah. If you like Silent Hill, recommend it. If you like horror games, recommend it. And yeah, I guess that's about it. You know what I'm gonna say? Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Oh, and here's my new slogan for everybody. Go tell your friends, go tell your family, and go tell your worst enemies. The Raw Dog is here, and I'm bringing you raw entertainment. So, come and get some. Let's do it raw, baby.